Hello everyone, it's Magdalena, Wolf of Coins. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm doing a VR to Joanna from Polish Folk Witch YouTube channel. And the topic is decks for a folk witch. So if you've been following my channel, you probably know that I'm pretty new to witchcraft. I'm at the beginning of this path. However, I already know that folk witchcraft, animism as well, are my thing. So I thought, why not make a VR? First up, in this cute pouch that I made myself with hedgehogs, I have the Wildwood Tarot. So I will start with tarot decks. Then I will have some other systems. So Wildwood Tarot, most of you probably know it. I trimmed it, I edged it, and this is a deck that I've been using for years now, and it's really helpful for me while communicating with the divine or the spirit world. It is really great in that regard for me, especially because it is not focused on any specific tradition. Like, the idea of this deck is more or less universal paganism in very, very old times. So a lot of animals. Okay, here we have Sheila Nagik. So this is like ethnically specific, but most of the time, okay, he's also dressed in like Celtic clothes, but most of the time it is, you can treat it really universally, because there are really, really universal images here, like beehives or the moon. Okay, the moon is in any tarot deck. But there are arrows, lantern. Yeah, okay. Well, it is a bit Celtic, but not too Celtic for me to be like, to not feel this world, let's say. So anyway, love this deck. Where's my favorite card? My favorite card is... oh, cars. I cannot find it now. Yeah, there's the Great Bear. Oh, I love this so much. So it has this Celtic feel, but also a bit shamanic feel. And I really like that. So Wildwood Tarot, a great deck to use to understand messages from the spirit or from the divine. Another deck that I have in a pouch, which I did not make, I bought it because it had this Arthur Rackham beautiful Undine. This is my first deck ever. Again, if you've been following my channel, you will know that this is my first deck ever, that I love, that it's, yeah. It has this weird design that I adore. Like, it's so strange and kitschy, but at the same time is like, it's very 90s when this is when it was made. So yeah, this deck, and it's a Polish deck, so I really feel it. There are even those eagles that we have in our coat of arms and on our coins. And yeah, I love the court cards in this deck. They are so funky. I love the devil in this deck. Where is he? Oh, I love the star. I love everything here. So sometimes I when I have a question that is, oh, this is the devil. How gorgeous. You can see he has this light between his horns. Now that I'm learning about witchcraft, I actually understand the meaning of this. Oops. So what was I saying? Yeah, I use this when I have a question of like a really intimate matter, and this is a deck that is very trustworthy because we've been together for a long time, and you can see that by looking at the edges. I've had this deck for over 20 years, so you know. So this is it is called either Polish Tarot or Jaśniak Tarot. Second of all, Tarot de Marseille. I dig Tarot de Marseille. You cannot miss this piece of information if you're watching my channel. And this is my Claude Bourdelle, 1751. And these days it is one of my really, really favorites. I also like to, like to read with it when I really need an advice and look into matters. So folk witch, Tarot de Marseille, I mean, this is a very traditional thing, right? So I feel like this is just me tying to this European tradition of tarot. And I love Tarot de Marseille. It is so different to anything that we have in modern times. It is this classic deck full of amazing images. Yeah, such as this. Crazy, crazy. But life is crazy, so this all makes sense. Yeah, so Tarot de Marseille is a staple for this witch. And since I am Polish, and it means then I'm Slavic, and I'm a Slavic pagan too. So, of course, Tarot of the Golden Wheel is a great tool for me. I really feel at home with this deck. I find it really beautiful. I love the technique of watercolor. It's the technique that I myself use. So, yeah, this is really... And it's a great deck, I mean, in general, for anyone. Because... not only because of the beautiful pictures, but it also is a bit color-coded, if you know what I mean. Like, there are those cards where you have this warm, glowy background with wheels. You have these watery court cards for cups. There are some cards that are simply, the color palette is cool, like for the Ace of Swords. There is nice weather, there is bad weather, and very bad weather. So you really can tell when you have the cards spread on the table. You can really follow the mood of the cards by the colors. So yeah, this is a gorgeous deck and I use it a lot. Also for like readings for others, somehow it works really well. So these are my tarot decks. And now for Oracle. So this is Shamanic Healing Oracle cards. And Yeah, it's a bit, you always can see fingerprints on it. But it's a really nice deck. It's very, yeah, animistic, you could say. There are like really basic important things here, like bees or stars or birds and sun and trees, mushrooms. Yeah, so I use it also when I want to understand a message from the spirit or from the divine. The guidebook is really nice. Oh, death, of course. It has like not too long a message. This is enough for me. And sometimes this deck just hits me on the forehead. It's like bam. Exactly what is the point of the situation this deck will show me. Oopsie. Then I have this oracle. It's a new deck in my collection. Well, pretty new, but I've been using this really a lot last 2 months or so. So plants are important in folk witchcraft, and okay, there are some plants that I've never seen in my life or even heard about, but most of the time, oh yeah, there are reversals in this deck, so well, that is messy. But I think it was this card that made me buy this deck, because St. John's wort is one of the most important plants in Polish folklore. And I felt like really, okay, there are also like my plants here. There is, yeah, St. John's wort. There is, of course, rose. There is rue. Very, very important in Polish folklore too. A calendula. So yeah, so it is a mixture of plants from all over the world, but we get those plants that feel like home, like elder, also a very important plant. Yarrow. And these cards really speak beautifully to me, also with their symbols and with the guidebook. The first thing I did when I opened this deck was to check all the names on Wikipedia to know exactly how they are called in Polish. So I have each plant, I have the name in Polish here. So it was also like I could learn some English names, and I also learned new plants from this deck. And recently I'm really building relationships with plants, so this deck really feels mine. And then I have, so these are regular playing cards, but I used them to read an oracle deck, which I made myself. So, yeah, so my deck that is being made, Slavic Soul Oracle, we hope it will be published in 2024. I'm working with the illustrator now, and there will be 52 paintings, 52 cards, as many as in a playing cards deck, and as many as weeks in the year. I thought it was a neat number. So thanks to that, I can use a regular deck of playing cards to pull a card from my own deck and then I look at my own guidebook. And I have to tell you, sometimes I'm just like, it is so, the messages are so real that I'm sometimes like, okay, shut up, Magda. just can't with myself. The words that I myself wrote, sometimes, you know, depending on the situation, they can really have an important meaning to them. So I actively use my own deck, and I really cannot wait for it to be published, so I can have like a real deck. And I'm using this bicycle seeking deck because it's beautiful, and the element of water is, for the last year I would say, is extremely important in my life. So I feel like it's nice to use this deck. And lastly, for oracles, I have again a deck that I made kind of myself, which is not the whole deck. Oh, look. I have shown this deck on my channel before, but anyway, I took the Nicoletta Cecoli Tarot and I turned it, not all of the cards, I left these cards, maybe one day I will also incorporate them, but I simply went through the deck and picked cards that I felt I wanted in the deck, that I could see a message in them. So I have like, this is my little guidebook that I keep in this pouch together with the cards. And I have 47 cards in this deck. And I really have like short messages, mostly in the shape of questions. But this deck is so deep for me. It is like made by myself for myself. So, oh, you're upside down. It shows me, mostly I use it to work with my fears, like to see my fears. What am I afraid of? And this deck of cute little girls, it can kick your ass. I mean it. So yeah, I absolutely love this deck. I use it very often. And what I wanted to say is, it's a great idea to create your own deck for yourself and see how well it works with you, because it's been made by you, so it's perfect for you. And as you can see here, you don't need to have like artistic talents or skills. You can just pick any deck. I especially recommend decks that were made from pre-made art, because usually the art doesn't really fit the tarot meanings. And then you can just rid of the numbers, the frames, and make it your own. Like I wrote in gold here like numbers, and these are my reference numbers for the guidebook. I also gave titles to each card in the guidebook. And this is how you can make a great deck for yourself. I highly recommend it. And please let me know whether you've done something like that. This is such a precious deck, really. And when we're talking about things made by ourselves, again, you don't really have to have great talents for this, but this is a Lenormand deck that I made. I was pregnant then, and I didn't feel really well, and I couldn't really do much stuff, but my creativity really... I also have a video about creation of this deck, but my creativity really yearned for something. So one day, I made this deck in one day, if I'm not wrong. I just had to do something, and I made this. So yeah, I think it really matches the folk witch to use the tools that she herself has made, because they are, yeah, imbued by her energy already, if you make things yourself. Okay, I won't be showing you all of the cards because I have a separate video on that. But yeah, anyway, funny little deck. And here I have classical Lenormand. It's a no name here. It's just Lenormand fortune telling cards by what was it? Carta Mundi, or I don't even, it doesn't even say who made it. But I know that this is based on the Brepols Lenormand. Again, I have a walkthrough of this deck on my channel. And it's such a gorgeous, classic Lenormand deck. And you even have the poems for the cards. And you have these gorgeous oval playing cards inserts. So I love it so much. The cardstock is quite shitty, to be honest, but it was very cheap, so I cannot complain. The images are stunning. I love them so much, and I really enjoy reading from a classic Lenormand deck. I feel so stylish. So with Lenormand, I go for the predictive readings mostly. Sometimes when I need a clarification for something, I will go for it for other topics, but I generally read it predictively. Very often in a grand tableau, sometimes 3-card readings. And yeah, and tarot is just like with Joanna. Tarot is my inner world tool, so I read it to learn about myself more than about the future. And then lastly, playing cards. I have loads of playing cards decks. I love these, you know, more elaborately decorated decks with, I mean, these are just regular, but the court cards. The court cards have to be stylish for me. And yeah, I'm using a 32 card deck, which starts from 7s. And actually, playing card reading is something that really connects me to my family, to our family traditions, because my grandma was reading cards. Her mother, my great-grandma, also used to read cards. Maybe some other women before her as well. And these cards, you guys, it's just, okay, Lenormand can kick you in the butt, like be really frank and doesn't beat around the bush. But playing cards, oh my god, these are the killers. They just don't care. They will tell you how it is, and you do what you will with this knowledge. So yeah, these are my folk witch decks. I have loads of others that I'm using. For example, one of my most trustworthy decks is this deck, Dark Goddess Tarot, and there are like goddesses from all over the world, so it's not very folk witchy, but I love this deck to pieces, and it's helped me so much, and I've learned so much. There is always an answer for me here. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think. And have a lovely day. Bye. Oh, and yeah, and thank you to Joanna for creating this VR, because I had a lot of fun doing this video. Bye.